What's up, guys? I am Constant, and we are finally in the last days before Shadowlands. So today we are going to be talking about the best class for each role and discussing strengths and weaknesses going into Shadowlands. If you enjoy this video, be sure to like and subscribe, and check me out on Twitch. Alright, so we are going to start off with melee DPS. First place has to be Sub-Rogue here. Their damage and keys is the best for melee DPS. They have excellent utility. They rank 3rd in melee DPS in Raid, and they're S tier in PvP for almost every reason, especially their explosiveness. I have Death Knight at 2nd. I know this is splitting between Unholy and Frost, but neither spec ranks too far behind the other in Mythic Plus or Raid. Unholy is lethal in PvP and is looking like a lock for A tier with the upside of excellent arena comp compatibilities. I have Demon Hunter in 3rd for melee DPS. I'm not thrilled about it either, but they're sitting at 3rd place in keys and 2nd place in Raid among melee DPS. They're not particularly viable in PvP, but their PvE proficiency can't be ignored. If PvP is more your thing, I would put Ret in the 3rd spot here, because they're still viable in PvE, absolutely, and they're a force to be reckoned with in arenas. Alright, so range DPS. This should not come as a surprise to anyone. I have Shadow Priest and Frost Mage tied for 1st with Marksmanship Hunter in 2nd. Shadow Priest is absolutely ridiculous right now. Their damage in both keys and raid is absurd. And they feel extremely strong in PvP. I'm not going to pass any judgment on their current place in PvP because they don't feel as broken as Rogue or Hunter, despite the fact that they're still extremely strong. I personally like seeing Shadow Priest doing so well, and I do main Disc Priest, but I don't really play Shadow ever. Frost Mage is similar to Shadow in its PvE viability. It's the top range DPS for keys and 4th for raid. It also falls into the S tier in PvP, and despite how infuriating it is to go up against a great Frost Mage in Arena, especially as a melee, I think most of us are just happy we're not getting G-pied in the face for half of our health. Marksmanship Hunter comes in at 2nd, mostly because a 3-way tie here would have seemed a little bit ridiculous. I do honestly think that Shadow Priest and Frost Mage are a little bit stronger than Marks, but Marksmanship ranks 2nd in keys and 3rd in raid for range DPS, and their explosiveness in PvP will leave you wondering where your entire health bar went in half a second. There's nothing like getting hit by an aim shot for 65% of your health, but chances are they're grouped with a Ret or a Sub-Rogue, and you are already at 20% health anyways. And to anyone wondering, no, I'm not salty about the amount of times that I've gotten 2-shot by Marksmanship Hunters in pre-patch. I think it's great. All 3 of these specs are absolutely top tier in just about every situation. I've seen Marksmanship Hunter as A tier and S tier in PvP. I lean a little bit more towards S tier for Marksmanship Hunter, but regardless, they're very, very strong. Alright, this one was a bit more difficult. Brewmaster and Prop Paladin are both looking like the Shadowlands jack-of-all-trade options. Stagger is incredibly strong in the 1st tier of every expansion. It cannot be ignored. And Stagger is the reason that I have Brewmaster at the top of this list. Prod is looking great with a nice balance of survivability and damage output. And with a Prop Paladin, you get the added bonus of being extremely annoying in PvP. Thanks, Prop Paladins. You have the damage output of a DPS class, the survivability of a tank, and the healing output of a healer. Yeah, that sounds totally fine to me. The 3rd spot here is kind of up for grabs. Blood Decay is looking like the best tank for raid, but it's almost last in keys. Vengeance Demon Hunter is the opposite of Blood Decay here. It's looking extremely strong for keys, but it's in 5th place for raid. If you're looking to be truly viable across all content, Brewmaster and Prop Paladin seem like the safest options here. Brewmaster is also very easy to pick up, and it's a pretty forgiving spec, especially when you're learning how to play it. Alright, healers. Everyone else is gone. Just you and me now. For my fellow healer mans out there, Shadowlands is looking wonderful. Disc Priest takes the top spot here. It ranks second in keys, it's first in raid, and Disc is S tier in PvP and is really fun to play across all content. While I'm terrified by the prospect of a potential nerf like we saw at the beginning of BFA, I'm hoping Disc will be able to make it at least halfway through the expansion before Blizzard decides to punish us again. So for the second place here, it's another tie between Resto Druid and Resto Shaman. Resto Druid is top tier for keys and ranks fourth in raid, while Resto Shaman is third for keys and second for raid. Resto Shaman is S tier for PvP. Resto Druid is A tier. I have trouble saying that Resto Druid is anything but S tier in PvP. They're Resto Druids. I mean, they're still going to be amazing in PvP. Unless they take out half their abilities, Resto Druid is going to remain towards the top in PvP. I've said it before and I'll say it again, being a healer in Shadowlands is looking like you really can play your favorite spec and remain viable. Now you might be thinking, well wait, what about Holy Paladin? And that's a fair question. It really is. So if one of the 5 people in the world who is planning on maining Holy Paladin in Shadowlands is watching this, I don't know where Holy Paladin's going to land in Shadowlands. I really don't. It feels so clunky. It's lackluster. But at the same time, I have trouble believing that they are not going to get some love from Blizzard very early in Shadowlands, assuming we don't see anything in the next week. I made Holy Paladin in the majority of BFA. And they have just been so strong for so long. Right now, they are pretty much at the bottom in everything. Holy Paladin is just like Resto Druid in PvP. It doesn't really matter what the meta is. Their toolkit is just invaluable in PvP, so you're still going to be viable in PvP, absolutely 100%. But with the changes to things like Shattering Throw, it definitely makes Paladin a bit less perfect in PvP. I just don't know. It's really difficult for me to say. I think that Holy Paladin is going to get some attention, but honestly, I don't think it's going to put Paladins at the top. I think it will just make the distance between the rest of the healers and Holy Paladin a little bit less. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like and subscribe, and check me out on Twitch. I'll be streaming every day once Shadowlands comes out. We'll be doing things like keys with viewers, and getting ready to raid Castle Nathria come December. As always, thanks for watching.